Right. My bad point is actually one that went completely under the radar. And all I'll say is this. It's not about Astralis, but it's a mad indictment on the Astralis org that no one even mentions this. Bro, think about it. We've all watched most of CSGO history, right? Everyone knows the crazy thing about CSGO is if you don't know, think about that Hall of Fame that just happened with the 1.6 players. 1.6 was a game dominated by Sweden. CSGO was a game dominated by Denmark. There was no player in the top 20 from Denmark. We're all just going to ignore this. Like, that would have been impossible in some of the past years. Like, literally, even when Astralis was dodgy, you'd at least have Device there or Blame F or Stown, obviously, winning Heroic. It's actually insane how mismanaged somehow the Danish scene has been that genuinely not a single player deserved to be in there. Look, I'll put this out there. On pure eye test like we do with Dantares and Elige, maybe Stown could have been in there, you know what I mean? Maybe he could have done it, or Blame F, like I guess he wasn't in good enough teams. But these players eye test wise are good enough. But it's just a state of the Danish scene right now that they legitimately had, by the way it's calculated, 0 top 20 players. That is actually inconceivable to me. I can't even imagine popping out of a time machine even 3 or 4 years ago and telling people, oh, Denmark just isn't even relevant in the top players in the world. Like, that's just an alien concept. It's blown my mind. Thoughts, boys? Turns out Danish CS is in fact not a hell of a drug. There you go. There's the old joke.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the guy that they had, the two guys that probably should have been top 20 based off of skill alone were Device and Blame F in the previous year.
Yes.
But Blame F got hard done by Astralis in what I still assume is a move to clear salary, essentially. And for Device, it's kind of because he decided to take off the last couple months of the year, last few months of the year. Taking off, it was Singapore plus the RMR in Major.
He was ill and then he just took the rest off, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So those two, I think that there's a solid chance that they get some more people back into the top 20. I'm not really going to say that I truly believe in Denmark's chances to get a 5-man team. Like, this Astralis team is fine, like Device, Katie, and Stown, Yabby, Stare, but like, I don't really see them as a top 6 team in the world, like breaking into that top 6 that were so strong last year. One of them, sure, one of them can fall off or whatever, but there's other teams that I think I would take them over this Astralis first. Like, one guy that's kind of came up onto people's radar lately, and we'll see if he's able to deliver in playoffs, is Tessus. So we'll see if Tessus can actually keep up the form he's held for the last 4-ish months. And so, but beyond that, yeah, no, it's... I mean,
lucky, I'm just going to be a hater and give that credit to Nico. We go, Nico's so good, he got Tessus in the HL TV top 20. I'm a dick like that, but it's all good.
Exactly.
I'm seeding that ground already.
Fair point, because he's probably going to get him the deep tournament runs, honestly. Then the stats from the group stages will sometimes look more justified, even if he didn't necessarily play well in the playoffs. Nah, but like, beyond that, I think this is more a symptom of a mismanagement of Astralis and a lack of like a true Danish team where the players can all like build off of each other. Like Sashi, Ecstatic, those kind of rosters fell off, really. I mean, they just didn't really have the talent, I guess, but... Nah, like the actually really strong Danish individuals right now kind of went through it with Blame F and Device last year for me.
I mean, don't forget as well that Heroic obviously fractured the Cadian team, and then also you lose people like Magis to Falcons, who's not playing domestically, so you have spread, and Snappy as well, you have spread the talent pool pretty wide. But no, it's unbelievable that there isn't a better Danish team. Obviously, you're going to look at Astralis first and foremost and question some of the roster moves. I do think they still have... they're a kind of bizarre team where they're definitely worse than the sum of their parts. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They've got so many good pieces on that team.
Yeah. I agree.
But it hasn't translated whatsoever. Obviously, Device maybe taking some time off is a factor. But yeah, for the... it's a bit like Brazil for the last few years.
I see what you mean, because you have the talent, but not the top team, right?
Yeah,
right.
And also because of just contract scenarios.
Yes.
To make the best Danish team, you need to get some players out of Astralis. It's not possible. You need to get some players, maybe like Magisk, into Astralis. Just impossible, unless somehow he gets out of Falcons. There's just no way to do it. And as Maui mentioned, the second, third, fourth best Danish teams are nothing close to what they were in the Heroic days.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like the second best Danish team is going to make some shrewd moves and then jump up a level. So yeah, they're in a really tough spot. They also lack for an organization of decent caliber that's committing to the scene beyond Astralis, which isn't helping. If Heroic, for example, had stayed Danish, I think you could probably build maybe a borderline top 20 team and work towards something, but they don't even have that at the moment.
Yes.
For me, maybe someone that for me, the jury's not out. I don't think Glaive's done. I still think Glaive can lead a world-class team. And I'd be very intrigued if at some point he does get a shot with a collection of good Danish players. Again, maybe not quite the caliber that Astralis has right now, but if I was going to build a new Danish team, I would be tempted to do it around Glaive. And he is someone that, contract-wise, or maybe someone might go in that direction if they're not having results. That, for me, is the most realistic way out.
By the way,
the most realistic way out might be Glaive.
Shout out to Glaive, though, where he actually did make me look like an absolute tosser at that Elisa event, Maui, where I had them say to him with veracity, you should just make a fucking Danish team. Because, by the way, I am right, by the way. Like, in the long run, that would be the fastest way to get to number 1 again. But then he obviously fucked around and actually won with that collection of, like, rando slash for Academy Squad. So he made me look like an idiot in that one tournament. But I think my bigger point was a valid one. Because, again, by the way, you've actually also backed into one of the issues there. I agree with you. It's not that they lack of talent, but they're just not. To get on the top 20, you have to be in a team that gets you in position to be a top 20 player. And if you think about the real problem they have there is all the IGLs that you'd build a Danish team around don't play in Danish teams now. Like, obviously, Heroic has Danish players, but they have Kixon. Well, they did before. Now they have a totally different squad. Like, fucking Snappy's obviously probably going to be an international player forever now. Carrigan's going to be an international player forever now. Cadian's an international. Well, I guess he's on fucking Astralis, but nobody knows if he's going to stay there. Like, I feel like you haven't put the pieces together. You haven't put them together.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.